Now everyone has been messing around with the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection for a while now, and while it's certainly not perfect, I'm quite enjoying it all. I love literally every game in the collection. However, out of all the missions in the games, which ones are the very best? Which stars and shines are the most fun to collect in my opinion? Well, let's find out. Number 5. Now we will start off with a classic, the very first mission seen in the game that was crucial for players to navigate them through this new 3D world. I'm of course talking about Bob-omb Battlefield. In this mission from the very first world, you scale the mountain summit of Bob-omb Battlefield to fight the big Bob-omb, and along the way you encounter several obstacles and enemies, including Goombas, Bob-ombs, a chain chomp, and iron balls that roll down the road spiraling around the mountain. And once you reach the summit, you will have to fight the big Bob-omb, who you defeat by picking him up and throwing him to the ground 3 times. Now after this, you're basically done with the mission. Getting a mighty power star is your reward, and for a lot of people, this is their very first mission. Now personally, I love this one a lot because it's a great start to the game overall, especially for people who are completely new to 3D platformers, which people were back in 1996. It also introduces you to a lot of different mechanics found in this game. Think of seesaws, enemies, obstacles like the iron balls, and even a boss fight where you need to maneuver around it correctly. Sure, it's not the most complex level in the game, but it has a lot of stuff in it and is the most memorable for me by far. And every time I go through this level, it's still a lot of fun because there's so much you can do a lot faster. In general, it's pretty neat. Number 4. Now, as all of you know by now, well, only if you watch this channel often, actually, I love the bee mushroom power-up from Super Mario Galaxy. It's both cute and quite a lot of fun to use. And so, of course, the first mission of Hive Galaxy is on this list. During this mission you have to do a lot of different things, and it all starts with collecting the bee mushroom. You then use it to fly up to a nearby ledge where you find a tree stump with a hole in it. You then fall down and use the slide found below. After this you come across a pathway with honey puddles that you need to get past, and then you go to the next planet. Here's a pond filled with lily pads, and first you need to make your way across. And then you go higher up, reaching spinning flower platforms, which must be crossed while avoiding the water jets to reach another launch star. After using it, you end up at a honeycomb wall that you need to climb, and then you encounter the queen bee who is covered in star chips that you must collect. After this you will get to another launch star that will take you to Captain Toad, where you can finally collect your prize. Now clearly this level is a lot of small things all put together. Some platforming as Mario, some flying and stuff as Bee Mario, and fighting enemies here and there. In a way, it doesn't have a whole lot going for itself. It's as basic as it can get, but for me, that's not really a problem. Not everything has to be very complex. Sometimes the small things matter, and this level is a good example of that. You get to mess around with some cool mechanics, the main one being the bee mushroom and the effects of the water on it. And that's kind of it. In general, this first level made me fall in love with this whole world, and the fun bee people found there. So of course, nostalgia played a role in all of this. But to be honest, this entire list is subjective, so that doesn't really matter too much. Number 3. Now for our next level, we will be looking at one that almost no one mentions when covering their favorite levels. And personally, I don't really know why. Because in my opinion, it looks amazing, is quite unique, and is the best underwater level in the entire collection by far. I'm talking about King Finn's Fearsome Water. Now during this mission you start on an empty star shroom with a launch star above it, which will send you to King Finn's planet. And as soon as your feet touch the water, a cinematic showing King Finn approaching will play, which sets the stage for one of the best boss battles in this entire game. Now in order to defeat him, you have to collect either a green or a red shell, and then launch it right at him like a missile. Now, after hitting him once, things will get harder, because he will call out 2 skeletal fish guards, and 4 more will appear after attacking him for the 3rd time. And after hitting the gigantic shark 5 times total, you finally won, and get your grand prize. Now, there are 2 big reasons why I like this specific level so much. First of all, the boss itself. Let's be honest, it's a gigantic, badass-looking undead shark that you have to fight. Out of all the bosses in the game, this one looks the best by far. Personally, I'm a big fan of battles that are on a grand scale anyway. And when it comes to this one, it ticks all the right boxes. It's like a fast-paced underwater chase scene where you're being followed by the minions of the boss. And the second thing I like about this mission is the Koopa shells. There are 2 things that make them great. The fact that you have to shoot these at him, which requires some skill, and that they give you a speed boost. Both of these things are amazing. In general, it's a lot of fun. I like this more intense and fast-paced water level. In my opinion, it is the most fun in the entire collection even. Number 2. Now we finally start to get into the really interesting missions. Ones that I liked back in the day a lot, and still love to this very day. And of course, for our number 2, it's a mission seen in Super Mario Sunshine. My favorite game of the entire collection. And the one that ends up on number 2 is incredibly unique, because there's not a single mission in any of the other games that's similar to it. I'm of course talking about Wiggler Ahoy Full Steam Ahead, seen in Gelato Beach. Here, the giant Wiggler that fell apart in the previous episode will be running around the beach, causing trouble for the locals. And you, the player, have to defeat this huge beast. And in my opinion, this is certainly the best boss fight in the entire game. Although Mecha Bowser is also quite fun. Now, to defeat the Wiggler, you must spray a Dune Bud in Wiggler's path. And if you time it correctly, the Doom Bud will explode into a structure underneath the Wiggler, causing it to flip over. You then need to climb on top of the beast and ground pound the highlighted body segments. Once you do this, it will take damage and will get back up and resume running around the beach. Now you need to do this a total of 3 times, and at some point, the Wiggler becomes even faster. But in the end, the fight just comes down to waiting for the Wiggler and dodging it, spraying the Doom Buds at the right time, and then ground pounding the specific body segments. Overall, quite a simple fight. However, what makes it so special is that you are fighting a gigantic Wiggler. It's a very impressive fight in my opinion. The thing runs around and makes the ground shake, and sometimes he even comes right at you. If this happens, it can be quite scary, or at least stressful. There's a gigantic monster running right at you, and all of this makes the fight quite unique. Aside from that, it can be a bit tricky at times, because you need to be quite good at timing your hits, and if you miss, you sometimes get hit yourself. So personally, I like it a lot. It's special for sure, and quite chaotic even, and aside from that, it's incredibly memorable. Number 1. Now for our glorious number 1, we will look at a number of levels actually, because for this one I wasn't able to pick a specific one. For this one, I actually want to look at a specific type of level that is only really seen in Super Mario Sunshine. They are known as the glorious, breathtaking, amazingly fun secret levels, with every world in a game having at least 1 and sometimes even 2 of these. Now these are never part of the regular area and are usually inside an alcove that you have to reach first and then enter. And these secret levels start with a short cutscene of Mario falling and Flood getting stolen. And so when you go through these levels, you have to rely solely on your platforming skills using Mario's base moves. Now these levels feature a cover of the classic ground theme from Super Mario Bros. In a rhythmic, upbeat a cappella style accompanied by snapping fingers. This already sets the right tone in my opinion, and also sounds literally amazing. It's among the best music in Super Mario Sunshine. They are staged in an apparently infinite void, and if you fall, you will 100% lose a life. And while going through them, you come across various platforms and obstacles. Think of stuff like sand blocks that fall apart as soon as you stand on them, red and blue platforms that flip constantly, and more. Overall, these levels offer a pure platforming experience which is similar to stuff seen in Super Mario 64, but this time you have the Sunshine moveset and a better camera, so it's different in a way, but it was probably added to make the people who love Super Mario 64 a lot happier. And personally, I love these levels as well. Actually, I like them more than a lot of levels seen in Super Mario 64, which is also because of the better camera. But even aside from that, these secret level episodes in Super Mario Sunshine offer something great in general. First, you have a quite normal platforming challenge where you need to get to the entrance of this secret level. And once you're there, you get an extremely well-crafted, linear platforming section that's completely different compared to what you did before that. So in general, I freaking love them. They are a highlight in Super Mario Sunshine for sure. However, now that we reached the end of this video, be sure to let me know in the comments section down below what your favorite levels are. And don't forget, be sure to leave a like and subscribe.